Hey, how's it going? It's Jocelyn here with Positivity in Pregnancy and Motherhood, where I strive to encourage you to find the mindset tips, tricks, and hacks to have your mind work for you and not against you during pregnancy and in motherhood. Thanks for joining in. Hi, I'm Jocelyn, host of the Positive in Pregnancy and Motherhood podcast. I help pregnant women and mothers to find positivity in their season of life through changing their thoughts to work for them and not against them. I help mothers find the small, doable steps in thought and action without making drastic changes to their everyday mom life, and I can help you. Thanks for joining. Okay, there is a specific group of women I want to talk to with this podcast episode, and I need your help to find them. So if you don't fit this category, I want you to find them or listen for when you might fit into this category again. Maybe you will want more children, and this could be helpful for when you are pregnant again. Nonetheless, help me to find pregnant women who are going through the morning sickness phase, who are really having a difficult time with it. For me, out of all the phases of pregnancy, the morning sickness phase, which actually for me was more evening sickness, was the hardest. And those, 6 to 8 weeks, depending on your pregnancy. For some poor women, it lasts the whole pregnancy. Thankfully for me, though, it didn't last the whole pregnancy. But those couple months of feeling nauseous all the time, and at times worse than others, was hard, and I dreaded it. In fact, I didn't want to have more kids because I dreaded that phase so much. I dreaded that time too much, and it almost held me back, and in ways kept me back from having babies sooner than I wanted to. Nonetheless, I kept going with it, maybe not as fast as I originally had thought I would have babies, but I still had them. I've had 4 babies and a miscarriage, and the first 2 were really hard, especially that second one. The morning sickness was horrible. I got in a really bad mental state. I laid on the couch all the time. I felt terrible about myself. I felt terribly physically. And it was not a good combination. Every area of my life suffered that second pregnancy when I was so miserable. God had put it onto my heart, though, as a young girl, that I was destined to be a mother. And I always desired to be a mother. I wanted to be a mother. And feeling so sick after that pregnancy, I doubted I was going to be able to do it. In fact, I told my husband, we'll have one of each, because my first was a boy, my second was a girl. I was like, maybe we'll just be done there, because this is hard. This is really hard. But God had other plans for me, and so with baby 3 and 4, I knew I had to change something because I couldn't cope like that for that amount of time. And it was too much. The sickness, and then after the sickness, you get big and uncomfortable and hot and pains. It was all really hard. But today we are speaking during the morning sickness phase. And I'm going to give you a couple of tips to help during this morning sickness phase. I'm going to give you some mindset tips to shift your mind, and also some tacticals that you can actually do. So when it comes to this season and time, especially when you're first pregnant, maybe around 6 weeks, you start to feel sick. The time that has to pass in order for you to get that baby seems significant. For me, when I was pregnant and that sickness hit almost like 6 weeks on the dot, I got depressed because I knew how long the sickness was going to last, and it just, time stopped. And was so slow. Every minute felt like 10 minutes because I was so sick. And that's going to be my first tips. And that is my first tip that I learned, is that you can't focus on all the time you have left. It drags you down. It makes you discouraged. It makes you depressed. What you need to do is take one day at a time. And that's my first tip. Take one day at a time. I got to the point where even the days felt long and it was difficult to get through a day. Take it an hour at a time. Take it 10 minutes at a time. Take it 1 minute at a time. Don't try and play out and have the whole pregnancy in your mind. Don't even think about the end of the pregnancy. When you are sick, you need to focus on meeting your needs, your survival needs, and your family's survival needs. And that's what happened for me. I got in survival mode and I could only take it one day at a time. When I kept analyzing and dwelling on the fact that, wow, I still have 2 months left of this sickness, this is miserable, I was a grouch. I was negative. I hated pregnancy. I was not pleasant company for my husband, and I was snappy and short with my kids. But that is not who I wanted to be. And I know that is not who you want it to be either, if you are in that boat. Take it one day at a time. These mindset shifts can seem really simple, but they're very powerful. Remember that this is not permanent. And that was also another thought that kind of gave me some light and hope, that there really is an end. And I know that's kind of, I guess, hypocritical could be the word, because the first tip was to don't think about the end. And the second tip is kind of to realize that it does end. And so not dwelling on the fact of how long you have, but realizing this isn't permanent, actually can help you move forward in enlightening ways and not keep you stuck in the negative. All right, a couple tacticals for this time, like those were mindset things. One was to take it one day at a time. Don't dwell on how much you have left or think about it. And the second one was the opposite. Realize that there will be an end, and as you just do what you can to get through this day, that end will come. They do work together and they do help each other and they can complement each other as long as you don't get stuck and discouraged in the fact that this seems like it's going to take forever. Okay, so those are a couple mindset shifts, and a physical shift will be to eat on paper plates. I know that this isn't super economical, it creates more garbage, but it also creates less cleanup for you. Like, you can throw the plates away. You don't have to deal with cleaning stinky, messy dishes. I remember once there was murky water in my sink, and that was enough to I had to vomit. Stuff like that was really difficult to handle, and is really difficult to handle when you feel nauseous and when you feel sick. So resort to things like paper plates. Give yourself grace. I have a whole episode on giving yourself grace that is very important when it comes to this season of pregnancy, because there's going to be a lot that you can't do that you used to do, and it's discouraging and hard. There are some, I've heard of things called Preggy Pops or something like that. I've never tried those, but I did try something called Morning Ease. And it's looks like a little cough drop, but it's just a lemon ginger, hard candy type of thing. And that actually did help me. And taking some ginger did help me. Now, before you ingest things that you're concerned about, always check with your doctor or midwife. But those things, they did help me during my pregnancy. Taking some capsule ginger and also sucking on those lemon ease, or not lemon ease. It's called Morning Ease. Helped me when I was really struggling with some of that sickness. So there is another tactical to grab onto. And I want to give you one more mindset thing, because I know how hard it is to get out of the negative spiral When you are pregnant and when you are sick and you're alone, your husband's working, it can be so easy to let your pains and your thoughts take you down. And I don't want it to take you down because I know God has more in store for you in this pregnancy. So I would encourage you to find gratitude. Find something to be grateful for, or someone. Think of something around you. Like if you're like, man, this is tough, just look around the room, and I know you can find something in your room or your surroundings to be grateful for. And let your mind dwell on gratitude. Gratitude is simple. It's powerful, though, and it just takes remembering. Mama, I know that this phase of pregnancy is hard. I know that being nauseous and sick all the time is not easy. But remember, take one day at a time. There is an end, and it will bring forth a miracle, the newest member of your family, and a sweet little baby to cuddle. Use paper plates. Try things like morning ease or ginger pills to help with some of that nausea. And find gratitude. Find things to be grateful for to shift your mind out of negativity. I am cheering for you. Until next time. Thank you for being a part of the Positive in Pregnancy and Motherhood podcast, for listening, for sharing, and most of all, for applying these tools into your own life to improve your own happiness so that you can find your own better thoughts for a better you in a positive pregnancy, in losing that stubborn baby weight, and becoming the mom you desire to be through taking small steps in thought and action to reach your goals. If you are a mother who has an inner desire to enjoy motherhood and pregnancy better, but you are having difficulty figuring it out, I can help you. I can help you find the small, doable steps without drastic changes to your everyday mom life. Reach out, let's connect, and let's see you move forward. My name is Jocelyn, and I thank you for listening. Until next time.